Hello lovelies, I'm Christina and today I'm giving you my review of Flight or Fright, edited by Stephen King and Bev Vincent. Now, originally when I first heard about this short story collection, I thought it was a new short story collection by Stephen King alone. And that's my fault for not doing my research well enough. But I got a bit disappointed when I was on my way to pick this up and I realized that it was not all Stephen King short stories. But still. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if this is the US or the UK edition. Simple red on the inside, and this is what the flaps look like with teeny tiny airplanes. Very, very cute. And it says, Stephen King hates to fly. Now he and co-editor Bev Vincent would like to share this fear of flying with you. Welcome to Flight or Fright, an anthology about all the things that can go horribly wrong when you're suspended 6 miles in the air, hurtling through space at more than 400 miles per hour and sealed up in a metal tube, like Gulp, a coffin, with hundreds of strangers. Prepare to discover numerous ways your trip into the friendly skies can turn into a nightmare, including some we'll bet you've never thought of before. But now you will, especially the next time you walk down the jetway and place your fate in the hands of a total stranger. Featuring brand new stories by Joe Hill and Stephen King, as well as 14 classic tales in one poem from the likes of Richard Matheson, Ray Bradbury, Roald Dahl, Dan Simmons, and many others. Flight or Fright is, as King says, ideal airplane reading, especially on stormy descents. Even if you are safe on the ground, you might want to buckle up nice and tight. Book a flight for this terrifying new anthology that will have you thinking twice about how you want to reach your final destination. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with Bazaar of Bad Dreams, because you seem to like that. After reading each short story, I took down a few notes and then I gave each a star rating. So I'm gonna go through all of these and then I'm gonna give you my overall review of this short story collection. Okay, so the first one is Cargo by E. Michael Lewis. For this, I wrote, creepy setting, had me wanting more, it feels like it could be the start of a novel. I gave that a 4 stars. Next is The Horror of the Heights by Arthur Conan Doyle. I wrote, didn't really grab me, but I can see how it would when published in 1913 though. I gave that 3 stars. Next we have Nightmare at 20,000 Feet by Richard Matheson. I wrote, perfection. Creepy and disturbing, impossible to tell if the monster is real or if it's just insanity. I gave that 5 stars. Next we have The Flying Machine by Ambrose Bierce. I wrote bitter and somewhat interesting, but didn't grab me. Gave that a 3. Next up is Lucifer by E.C. Tubb. Horrifically wonderful about time travel, absolutely loved it. Makes you think about what you would do in a similar situation. Gave that 5 stars. Next up we have The Fifth Category by Tom Bissell. Very interesting and creepy, as well as touching on politics of torture, which made it even more intriguing. I gave that 5 stars. Then we have 2 minutes 45 seconds by Dan Simmons. I wrote, found it a little bit confusing, maybe it just went over my head, liked the writing style. Gave that a 3 stars. Wow. What? I can't tell my own handwriting. So I must have been really tired when taking notes for this one. So next up is Diablitos by Cody Goodfellow. Here I wrote, any confined setting where you add a fast-spreading disease is creepy as hell. This one is no exception. Loved it. Gave that 5 stars. Next up is Air Raid by John Varley. This science fiction short grabbed me from beginning till end, what an interesting premise, and that ending, I never saw that coming. Gave that 5 stars. Next up, You Are Released by Joe Hill. Joe Hill has yet to disappoint me. This short story touches on one of my greatest fears, and that made it a horrifying read that I couldn't put down. 5 stars. Then I have to switch to my phone because I took the rest of my notes there because I didn't have my notebook with me. Next up is Warbirds by David G. Shao. I wrote, I struggled a bit to pay attention. For some reason, it just didn't grab me. Gave that 2 stars. Then we have The Flying Machine by Ray Bradbury. A wonderful and short story of the fear of anything new, the naivety of power and ignorance. Makes a powerful point typical of Bradbury. I gave that 5 stars. Next up, Zombies on a Plane by Bev Vincent. A setup for a scary zombie scenario. Really enjoyed it. Could easily have been a bit longer. 4 stars. And then we have They Shall Not Grow Old by Roald Dahl. Sad but intriguing piece about the effects of war. Makes you wonder what's a trick of the mind and what's real. Roald Dahl gets that little bit of magic in even when it's for adults. 4 stars. Next up is Murder in the Air by Peter Tremaine or Peter Ellis. Short and sweet little murder mystery. Felt like a short version of most crime shows. Well written, but nothing extraordinary. 3 stars. Then we have The Turbulence Expert by Stephen King. King does not disappoint with this one. A solid, mysterious short story with an interesting idea to it. Loved it. 5 stars. And last up we have Falling by James Dickey, which is the poem and all. And for this one, it just flew over my head. It was not my kind of poetry style, so it didn't grab me in any way. I couldn't retell it to you in any way. It just didn't sit with me, unfortunately, so I give that a 1 star. So we've gone through all of the short stories in the one poem, and I will say that Flight or Fright is a really good, solid short story collection. I think I have yet to come by a short story collection where every single short story grabs me and takes its hold of me, so I would say that this one is a really solid, good one. So many great short stories. The premises were amazing. There were so many different takes on airplanes and fears of flying and different kinds of science fiction and magical settings. I really enjoyed this. I would give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was close to perfection, but not quite. So there you have it, guys. That is my review of Flight or Fright, edited by Stephen King and Bev Vincent. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read a short story collection that is just stuck with you, that you really loved. I would love to know, as always. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video soon. Goodbye!